Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to tonight's homework video. Let us begin. Alright, so we are still chipping away at our original LEQ for the past week or so. What is the process of establishing a budget? Now, you guys have learned by now that a budget really is nothing more than a huge subtraction problem. You start with your average monthly income, you subtract out your fixed cost, you subtract out your variable cost, and this leaves you with a number with a fancy terminology called your discretionary income. That is money left after bills have been paid that you may use at your discretion, that you get to choose how to use it. Now, what's wrong with this is that most people are like, ooh, discretionary income, I can use it at my discretion. Well, I paid my bills, I've done my groceries, I put gas in my truck, I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to buy more clothes, I'm going to go have more fun, I'm going to have more entertainment expenses, which is not really the way to do it. Discretionary income really should be, for the most part, what your savings is. And today we are going to get into how to actually budget for savings. So I'm going to say that again. We are actually going to learn to budget for savings. Now there is a term to do this, and it's called pay yourself first. And pay yourself first is a strategy used by financially successful individuals or families used to save money each month. What I'm going to show you guys now is the traditional way people save. Well, let me say that again. The traditional way people save that tends to be an unsuccessful way to save. Okay, so here we go. Again, this is the traditional way people save. I'm going to write traditional up here. Now, keep in mind, guys, when I say traditional, I'm only saying that in the sense that this is how most people try to save. This is how most people learn to save, and this is not the best way to save. So here we go. Let's say we have our $500 monthly income. All right? This is what people who do not have a part-time job, this is the number they're using. So you make $500 a month. Not bad, hooray. So you subtract out your fixed cost, you subtract out your variable cost, and you are left with your discretionary income, which we are calling savings. All right, cool. So here's what they do. Let's do an example. So they have $500 and they subtract out, oh, let's say they have, I'm going to make these numbers easy to work with. They have a $100 cell phone bill. They have a $100 car payment. Again, these numbers are not realistic. I'm just doing them to make them simple. And they have a $100 cell phone bill, $100 car payment, and a $100 car insurance. Very nice for them. So they have $200 left. All right. Now keep in mind, we have not done our variable cost, so we are not going to subtract out our variable cost. Let's say they do something like 100 for entertainment and then 50 for gas. All right. Their variable costs are very simple. So 200 minus 100 is 100 minus 50 gives me $50. Okay. Not bad. So this represents this student's discretionary income, aka the amount of money that should be contributed to savings. So here, let me give you this in context. Okay, so it's the end of the month. I just got paid $500. I pay all my bills. All of these are taken care of. Hooray! I paid my car insurance, I paid my cell phone bill, and I paid my car payment. I'm left with $200 for the month. Hey, not bad. I'm gonna allow myself $100 to have fun. All right, cool. It's towards the end of the month I spend $100. And $50 for gas. I only drive to and from school and up and down Highway 98. All right, done. Hooray, I have $50 left. It's the end of the month. I'm going to get paid next week, so I'm expecting all this money to come in. Hooray, $50. What should I do with this $50? What you should do with this $50 is save it. Here's what people end up doing. It's the end of the month. They know they have a paycheck coming in less than a week. And they say to themselves, you know what? I really need, quote, need, unquote, a trip to the mall. I really need to go out to dinner tonight. I really need to take my girlfriend on a date. And what happens is that $50, because they know money is coming so soon in the next paycheck, that $50 just gets basically thrown away on stuff that they didn't originally budget for. If they wanted to go out to eat, it should have been included in their $100 entertainment expense. If they wanted to go on a date, it should have been included in their $100 entertainment expense. If they wanted to have money each month to purchase clothing, they should have either included it in their $100 entertainment expense, or they need to reduce their fixed cost to allow for them to have a variable cost account that's something like $50 for clothing or something along those lines. So this right here is the wrong way to do things. I think you guys can see the faults in this. When you wait until the end of the month to do your savings, almost always there's $0 left because people are simply not disciplined enough to save. And I myself, sometimes I fall in that same boat. I used to fall in that same boat every once and a while. So let me show you guys the pay yourself first method of saving. Okay, so we are no longer talking about traditional. We're going to do the pay yourself first method of saving. So we're going to do pay yourself first. PYF. Okay, so we'll do the exact same example to show the difference. Okay, so this student makes $500 a month. Okay, cool. They have their, I'm going to come over here and do it. They have their fixed cost of $100 for, I don't know, car payment. $100 for a cell phone bill. I'll put car. They have cell phone. And then they have $100 insurance. Okay? Insurance. All right, cool. So we're going to subtract out the $300. And they are left with $200. Here's what you should do. Before you even get to fooling around with your variable costs, things like groceries, entertainment, gas, dates, clothing, things like that, pay yourself first is this. What if saving money were considered a bill? Because I guarantee you guys, you are going to pay your fixed cost before you get down to your variable cost. So consider this. What if you considered saving money a bill? Consider saving money a fixed cost. So what if I were to put in here a fixed cost, $50 of savings? So I'm going to come back up to this original example up here. I'm going to start with $500 and I'm going to subtract out $350 now because I have $50 fixed cost in savings. That leaves me with $150 left to budget for my variable cost. So we can subtract out $100 for gas and $100, or excuse me, we can subtract out $100 for entertainment, and we can subtract out $50 for gas, which leaves us with an end budget of $0. Now that, remember guys, that is not bad because we have already saved $50. If you end the month with $0 and left over in the budget, you did good. You met your goal. You put aside $50 to save. So good work. Having a zero at the end of the month for a budget is a good thing. Having a negative number is a bad thing, okay? Having a positive number means you should put that money into savings, okay? So pay yourself first is basically considering savings a fixed cost. Pay yourself like you pay bills. Now let me tell you the best way to do this. And I'll tell you the way I do it as well. I have direct deposit. Many of you with jobs do have direct deposit into your bank account. I have my savings account set up in such a way that the first of every month, so teachers, we get paid at the last day of every month. So the first of every month, the next day, I automatically have a certain portion of my paycheck transferred to savings. Just how I automatically have all my bills taken out. I pay my Gold Gym membership, I pay my Verizon cell phone bill, I pay my Liberty Mutual car insurance payment, I pay all those bills. In the exact same fashion as my bills automatically come out, I automatically pay myself a certain percentage of my paycheck that goes to savings. So before I take my wife on dates, before I go and buy clothes, before I even feed myself, before we even buy groceries, I've already saved for the month. Versus the wrong way to do it, waiting until the end of the month to save. Okay, so here's what we have. The traditional way people save is that they wait until the end of the month to start to see what's left for saving. Now, unfortunately, most people are not disciplined. They take that money that's left to consider it party money. Hey, cool, I paid all my bills, I fed myself, I put gas in my truck, I still have all this money left, and I can go shopping spree, woo, or I can go to a party, or take my girlfriend on a fancy date. Generally, people don't have money left for savings after that. The best way to save is called pay yourself first, which is whenever you get paid, direct deposit, you automatically consider savings a fixed cost and pay yourself just like you pay a bill. So another next common question is, how much should you save? Should I save $10 a month, $15 a month? all $500, there is a general rule, and again, this is a general rule that any financial literacy expert will tell you, and it's a 20% rule. It basically means that whatever your average monthly income is, you should save 20% of that number. So let me say that again. Whatever your average monthly income is, you should save 20% of that number. Okay. So let's do an example right here. Let's say you make $500. Again, part-time minimum wage job, 20 hours a week, not bad. So what is 20% of $500? How much should you really be saving? Whether it's saving for a car, saving for emergencies, saving for college, saving for rent, whatever it is, how much should you be saving? So what is 20% of 500? The easiest way to do this, class, if you do not have a calculated percentage sign, multiply it by 0.20, by 0.2. So 500 times 0.2, again, that's 20%. You guys have taken Algebra 1, Algebra 2, you know how to convert to percentages. And what you get is 500 times 0.2 is $100. So that basically means that each month you should be saving $100. If you average, your average monthly income is $1,000 a month, 1,000 times 0.2 or times 20%, that's the exact same thing. 0.2 is the same thing as 20%. You should be saving $200. So those of you that have figured your average monthly income, I'd like you to go ahead and right now after this video, take that average monthly income, multiply it by 0.2 to get how much your savings is. Now, one thing I'd like to point out, in that prior example we just did when we were talking about the traditional way to save and the better way to save, pay yourself first, we were only saving $50 a month. So I'm contradicting myself right here because I'm saying you should be saving you should be saving $100 a month. But in the prior example, you're only saving $50 a month. So here's what I would tell that student in the prior example. I would tell them their fixed costs are too high. They need to find a cheaper cell phone bill. They need to find a cheaper car insurance cost. Or I would tell them they need to cut down on their entertainment. Or they need to start trying to hitch a ride to school or ride the bus so they can save on gas. Guys, understand this. Here's what's wrong in American society. We consider savings optional. We don't consider not paying a cell phone bill optional. We don't consider not having an unlimited data plan optional, but we consider savings optional. There's a lot wrong with that statement. So that person in the prior example should adjust their budget to allow for a $100 fixed cost, pay yourself first $100 bill that they are going to pay themselves every single month for savings. All right, guys, so that's it. We have covered that pay yourself first is the superior method of saving. That is treating savings like a fixed cost. When we ask ourselves, how much should I save? It's called the 20% rule, which means you should save 20% of your average monthly income. So this video concludes our series on Intro to Budgeting. What's going to happen next is we're going to start up a series of videos called Savings. So congratulations, you're saving $100 a month, or you're saving $88 a month, or you're saving $200 a month, whatever is that 20% number is. What should you do with that money? Should you put it in a savings account? Should you invest in the stock market? Should you lend your homeboy $20 and charge them interest? What should you do with that savings? So that's going to be the nature of the next series of homework videos on personal finance. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Have a wonderful evening.